Today I'm going to share with you 10 things we did to our home here in Ecuador to make it more cozy and inviting. One of the first things we did was actually purchase throws for the home. And y'all, this house was cold when we first arrived. I made a whole video about things I wish I knew before I moved to Ecuador, and I talk all about this time in our lives because it was so interesting just to move into a space that we're very grateful for, a space that in fact came furnished, but it was lacking a lot of the warmth and a lot of the comfort that we were looking for, and a lot of that physical heat that we were also more accustomed to in other places that we've lived in. So I got straight to work and I got some throws, ordered those, and yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this one right here and it's draped over this particular couch. We don't technically use it, but we do have throws that are in use all the time and that are soft and cozy and comfortable. And I find that having elements like those in your house not only physically warm up your body, but they warm up your space as well. We also invested in some rugs, which I am so grateful for. It was quite hard to find what we were looking for, and then when we did in fact purchase the rugs that we have, they were quite pricey. And so I'm actually very lucky that I was able to order some of our kitchen rugs online, and then I also had a lot of these like little small area rugs. We had those in our previous apartments abroad, which were really nice. Those don't necessarily add warmth, but they do add, I guess, dimension to certain spaces. This type of a rug and the different rugs in our house help you define certain spaces in your home. So we have a rug for the living room and a rug for the kitchen. And if you've paid attention to my home and other videos, or if you've watched my home tour, you'll see that we have a pretty open concept for our home. And so we have the living room here, and we have our dining room here, and then we have our kitchen here, and then we have all of the space back here. It all flows really well. But I think that having the rug and certain pieces of furniture really help define the spaces and to separate living from eating, from play, and all these different areas that we have now around our home. This next thing that we did is very simple. I mean, it usually comes with furnishings, but we arrange our pillows strategically on our couches just to make them more inviting. I think that when you have pillows just scattered all over your furniture, it can look a little messy, it can look a little unplanned, I guess, which is not a bad thing. But what I like to do is actually take pillows off and put them in other areas around my home. We have this gray sectional, and then we have this brown couch. We also have this yellow couch in my son's room, and it's nice to kind of mix and match these different pillow elements to make the home feel a little more cohesive and you know, like the design was more intentional. Add pillows and throws to make them look like more accent pieces. I feel like it helps you relax a little bit more, because sometimes lots of pillows on a couch can make you sit forward, and that's not super comfortable. So removing some pillows and strategically placing them and just really thinking intentionally really helps your space feel cozier, but also look cozier as well. And speaking of furniture, speaking of the pillows on the couches, we actually shipped our own couch. And if you've watched my previous video about cost of living, you will know that this apartment is a benefit that my husband gets as a part of his job. And so with that benefit of housing, we also get the benefit of furnishing. This brown couch that I mentioned was given to us as a part of this housing allowance. And we also have a dining table with chairs and, you know, select few things around the house. Not everything is a part of the furnishing package that we receive, and the couch is not. So the couch that I typically sit on when I make videos is ours. I think it is one of the best investments we have ever made. It is 3 pieces. So it has the ottoman, it has the L-shaped part that comes apart, and then it has the regular 2-seater couch, which then all snaps together. And then we typically will take the ottoman and push that over to the side, so we have this big living space, play space for my son to hang out in during the day, and then we'll push it back together at night, or if we have friends coming over. So it's very versatile, but it's also very cozy, and it is our favorite thing in this whole entire house. It is the hub of our home, and I love that we got this neutral gray color because I feel like whatever other furniture we either get as a part of housing or that we will purchase, we'll go with whatever we decide to purchase or, you know, rent in the future. And if you see this little peak of greenery right here, you will see that we have plants. And I am a lover of houseplants, but also a killer of them as well. My mom is the one that has a green thumb. She helps me talk through plant care and tips and things like that because I know it's hard to keep this luscious thing as green and vibrant as it is, but it helps really warm up my space. We have this plant, we have 3, 4, we used to have like 4 or 5 plants. A couple of them are dead now, but I am really trying hard to keep the remaining plants that I have alive. Here in Quito, the plant selection is amazing. There are nurseries everywhere. We actually have this little community of nurseries not too far from where I live, and that is where I got all of these plants. I just did a one-stop shop and went there. This particular plant, I think I got it from Mega Kiwi, which is a big box store here in Ecuador. So you have plants there, you have nurseries, and lots of options to really find the types of plants that suit you and your home and your plant care lifestyle. And I really do recommend adding greenery. Don't be afraid of greenery in your home. Don't be afraid of killing plants. It is all a learning lesson and you are a work in progress. So definitely take a chance and get yourself some indoor plants because they really do help brighten and liven up a space. We are so lucky to have access to affordable flowers here in Ecuador. I believe Ecuador is the #1 producer of roses in the world. So Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, special occasions, a lot of those flowers are in fact coming from Ecuador. And because we are so close to those producers, we get those flowers for a really great deal. And I am so grateful because I can constantly have floral arrangements in my home that again brighten up my space. We recently had a little get together and I ordered plants from again one of the big box stores here, and they came. They are gorgeous roses. They look like lilies, you know, with a bunch of different greenery aspects in them as well. And y'all, amazing. It's so crazy because one bouquet of flowers, I ended up splitting it into 2, and we have one over here and then one in the bathroom because my bathroom just needed extra life for our little party and the flowers were it. So I highly recommend, you know, rotating your flowers. If you're like, this time I want roses and next time I want sunflowers and this time I want lilies, like rotate through the different types of flowers that you can have, that you can afford to really help brighten up your space, because in a lot of ways they act like decoration and they're just gorgeous. And women out there, you don't have to wait for somebody to buy you flowers, especially if you're trying to just liven up your space. Just get them as a part of your groceries and add that to your budget. When we first arrived at Ecuador, we fell in love with this apartment because of the view. Now, the view outside was fabulous, but the view inside was a little questionable because furniture was just thrown in here. And yes, we're grateful for the benefit of housing and to also be able to have furnishings as a part of our allowances, but sometimes we get furniture and it's just thrown into your place without any rhyme or reason. You know, I think what happens is people that set up the housing and the people that deliver the furniture, they're under the assumption that you're just gonna make it your own. I recommend that if you're in a position like we are in, or if you happen to be a person that just has a little bit of extra furniture, try to reduce as much as possible. I find that when you have too much furniture in one room, it really makes the space look cluttered. There were like 4 or 5 couches in this one room when we arrived. We were given 2 brown couches. So one is here, we moved the other one into the second living room area. We also had this gigantic chair that was in this room as well. So we put that in the second area. We had this leather pull-out kind of chair that was in the baby's room before it was a baby's room. That used to be an office, so that chair wasn't there. Moved that to the corner in my bedroom. And yeah, really just maneuvered things around. There's a couch in my baby's room as well, because we just had too many couches at one point. And that happens, of course, when you're bringing your own furniture too. So we brought this couch and ended up with, I feel, 2 extra couches. So we had to find a place to put them, and everything worked out fine. I really love our space. I'm so in love with this apartment. It's definitely one of my favorites of all the places we've lived in so far. And again, I'm just so grateful, but it does take a good eye to see what needs to go and what can stay. And I will say I'm also grateful for my mom. She came to Ecuador when my baby was maybe like 4 months or so. She came to help out, but then she also came to help me design our space to make it feel a little bit better, because we had lived here for maybe about a year and a couple of months, and it was just feeling quite stale. I just did not have the right vision for what I wanted, and my mom is great at design and homes and architecture and all that kind of stuff. So she really helped me, you know, stay within my budget first and foremost, but also get things to kind of just elevate our space without breaking the bank. So I was really, really grateful for that. So some of the evidence of what my mom helped me with is actually right behind me. Some of the artwork that is in this space, I was able to send her some links and ask her if she liked what I sent her, and she helped me make everything feel a little more cohesive. So we have these here, which are from Amazon, and a row of artwork on this wall here. My brother actually gave us this Colorado piece of artwork that I think he and his wife made, and that also makes a space feel more cozy when you can add elements of your home base into the place that you are renting or staying in temporarily. It really does help make you feel like you have a piece of home with you, and I love that. We also have artwork in my baby's room. I actually picked out these little baby animals, I guess you would say. Those pieces were kind of the framework for how I wanted to design his room. I wanted to be very intentional with that. I didn't want anything that was like scary either, but I wanted artwork that would help grow with him. So maybe in the next space, we can put that same artwork in his room, and it won't feel babyish or like a nursery. It'll grow with him, and we can also put those elements in other spaces in our future home as well. So that's kind of the way that I think about artwork and different pieces. I want them to be easily transferable to wherever we move to next, because we move so frequently, and I don't know, I just think that's helpful and less wasteful. And last but not least, we added shelving to our home. This here is really, really handy, and I love that we were able to kind of elevate some of these electronic things that we have in our home, and I guess that could be like a bonus. We have an Alexa, and we also have the Google Homes throughout our house, because yes, internet here in Ecuador is fairly good, but we needed some help because of the concrete style walls that we have in this home. I feel like the internet being all the way over there in that second living room was preventing internet from coming all the way into this room and just circulating throughout the house. And it's really important for us to have internet throughout the house, because my husband likes to work in the living room. I sometimes work in that corner over there at the dining table. So we needed to help move the internet along, and so having our Google Home is key, and having our Alexa is also key. I feel like we use it every single day. It is a stable piece in our house. We have an Alexa here, we have one in the baby's room, and we have one in our bedroom, and they can talk to each other and play music throughout the house. It just really makes things feel more cozy, more homey, I guess you could say, and I love that. And so back to the shelving. Shelves were a part of that, because at first we just had the Google Homes on the floor and we didn't actually have the Alexa set up, and it was just irking my nerves having items on the floor, especially with a child, and I needed to further baby proof. So I had these shelves put up, and they were very inexpensive, and I think they truly make everything come together. And there you have it, some things we've done to our home to make it more cozy, more inviting, and just amazing. Again, this is one of my favorite spaces that I've ever lived in. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to yeah, to have been able to get creative, to have the help of my mom, and to really work off of this beautiful backdrop of Quito, it's just so inspiring, and I'm just grateful. And I hope the changes that I made will be inspiration for you to jazz up your space just a little bit, because we spend a lot of time in our homes and we want to make sure that they serve us well. So do a little bit here and there when you can, just to make things feel a little bit better for yourselves. If you're interested in learning more about our time here in Ecuador, check out the playlist right here where I share so much about our lifestyle as expats, living and working and doing life here in this amazing country.